قال محمد هو ابن مالك أحمد رب الله خير مالك مصليا على النبي المصطفى وآله المستكملين الشرفا وأستعين الله في ألف.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inshallah, in this lesson, what we will be doing is going through speech in the Quran. The thing that somebody says is what's known as al-maqul. For example, in English, where we have speech marks, and that which is said, al-maqul, would be inside the speech marks. Another word we can use for the speech itself is the masdar, al-qawl. So a masdar can be used for maf'ul bihi as well. Like another example of that is, for example, using the word khalq for al-makhluq, that which is created. As an example, we can say qala al-kalama. He said the statement or the speech. Now in Arabic, the actual verb used to denote speech, which here is qala, is what's known as fi'lul qawl, the verb of speech. And qala is the most common word used. We can also have, for example, the words takallama or nada. So a verb used to denote somebody speaking. And so here the fa'il is the hidden pronoun in the verb huwa, he. And then we have the maqul, and it is the maf'ul bihi, and that's why it's mansub. Now here, kalam actually denotes that which is said, but what exactly was said is not mentioned in this sentence. Instead of using a word to denote something which is said, you can actually put down what is said. So for example, in the Quran, okay, here we have in Surah Yusuf, qala, he said. This is talking about Nabi Yaqub alayhi salam. And then all of this, I'll put the speech marks, all this is what he said. Inni layahzununi an tadhhabu bih wa akhafu an ya'kuluhu adh-dhi'bu wa antum anhu ghafilun. That's what he said. Now, we have the fi'l al-qawl, and we also have al-qawl or al-maqul, the actual speech. And what we say about this is that this sentence, or actually in this case, it's two sentences. So there's one sentence here, and then the wa, to join the sentence after it. But the point is, this is what he said. And what scholars say about this is that everything that he said is fi mahal nasab. It's in a state of nasab, because it's the maf'ul. And similarly here, the response of the brothers of Yusuf, qalu, they said, and then starting from here to here. That's what they said, and all this is fi mahal nasab. Okay, that's quite straightforward. Now let's look at another example in the Quran of this. Now, in this example, we have speech, but the fi'lul qawl is not mentioned. It's estimated. And one of the aspects of the Quran is that it omits parts of the sentence which one can easily assume to be there. So there's no confusion. And mentioned when Ibrahim was raising the foundations of the house, and with him was Ismail, saying. Notice here, saying is in the brackets, because the actual fi'l qawl is not mentioned. The taqdir of that would be يقولان ربنا تقبل منا. So that verb they both said is not mentioned. It should be here, but it was omitted, and it's assumed to be there. And that's very easy to understand based on the context. And so ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم is the speech المقول في محل نصب. Okay, this is an interesting example. It speaks here of people who are wronging themselves, who are committing shirk and kufr. And it says here, the ones whom the angels take in death while wronging themselves, and who then offer submission. فَأَلْقَوْا السَّلَامَ. So here they submit. Once the angel of death comes to them, then it is at that point they submit, but it's too late. And here it mentions their speech, which is starting from there to here. ما كنا نعمل من سوء. من سوء, actually, it's a complete negation, meaning that we were not doing any wrong whatsoever. And you notice here, فعل القول is not mentioned. So it didn't say قالوا ما كنا نعمل من سوء, but it's known based on the context. But then what happens is straight after this is that there is further speech, but not from them, those wrongdoers. It's a response to them. These are the angels saying this. Their speech starts from here, from Bala. Most certainly you were. So they claim they did no evil, but the response here is Bala. You certainly did. And from this statement right down to this ayah here, that's their speech. Now this fact would indicate that this came after. So there's some time that came after. We can say that this is all the speech. And once again, the fi'lul qawl is not mentioned. So then say qalu. Now the final example we have in the Quran. Notice here we have two responses to the same question. The question is, ماذا أنزل ربكم? ماذا أنزل ربكم? And we have the fi'lul qawl for both قالوا and قالوا. And we also have the maqul, that which is said, which is في محل نصب in both cases. So this is في محل نصب and this is في محل نصب. So the first one actually is a response from the disbelievers, and the second is a response from the believers, those who fear Allah. Both of their statements are not complete sentences. So actually there's something estimated. Secondly, notice here, this is a idafa construction, but notice the first word is marfu'. On the other hand, we have here the response, khayran, it's mansub. So actually it's quite important to understand the difference between this. Now let's first of all talk about this one here. When they're asked, what did your Lord send down? Their response was, قالوا خيرا, good. This actually, what scholars say about this is actually a maf'ul bihi for a hidden verb. And this verb is estimated. When they're asked, ماذا أنزل? So when I say خيرا, the taqdir of that would be أنزل خيرا. He sent down good. So the Quran that they received is khair. Now when the disbelievers are asked this, the response is أساطير الأولين. Asatir are legends or stories of the ancient people, of the former people. If this was actually أساطير with a fatha, this would actually be incorrect. Because what would be the taqdir of that? أنزل أساطير الأولين. And they don't believe that Allah sent anything. So it's actually a contradiction. So here, أساطير الأولين, the taqdir of that would be هو. This is actually the khabar of a hidden mubtada. هو أساطير الأولين. And so you see the difference there. Just by changing the haraka from a dhamma to a fatha, it changes the whole meaning. And this is the precise nature of the Quran, that one can only have if he understands language in a comprehensive manner. Okay, وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.